In an interview yesterday, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said the Trump administration is looking into banning popular Chinese social media apps like TikTok here in the U.S. Now, separately, TikTok said it will quit Hong Kong after China imposed a new security law on the city. We've got Yahoo Finance's tech editor, Dan Howley, here to break it all down for us. Good morning, Dan. I want to start with Pompeo's comments first up. What's the concern here? That I guess for a long time, people have been talking about TikTok, gathering our important consumer data. And what are they doing with that data? Is that what's behind what Pompeo's saying here?
Yeah, there's concerns, obviously, that being a Chinese company, ByteDance, the main company behind TikTok, that user data from within the U.S. could make its way into mainland China, and then they would be able to then funnel that to the People's Republic of China army, and then that would then expose user data from the U.S. to the Chinese army. And I think that's really the fear here. It's something similar that we've seen from other companies. Zoom, for instance, is one of those that has been feared. Huawei, obviously, that's the reason why the U.S. is the ban on Huawei technology for 5G networks. But for TikTok, this really comes down to, is user data being used and then sent back to China? And according to ByteDance, the company behind TikTok, that's not really the case. They have they say they have a U.S. Head of the company. They also have employees in the U.S. And they say that they wouldn't share any user data with the Chinese government if asked. But that's something we've also heard from Huawei as well, and Zoom. The other issue that TikTok says they're facing is they've gone ahead and used they're no longer using Chinese moderators for TikTok itself. So they are pulling out, though, they said, of Hong Kong. But that's really kind of a way of placating likely both the U.S. government and the Chinese government. Obviously, China with a new security law there, basically wanting access to information. The U.S. government saying they don't want to allow things like that from U.S. citizens. So they're basically just going to pull out and appease both sides.
Dan, is one of the read-throughs here that TikTok's overall business might have a lower total addressable market?
I don't think so. Hong Kong is a much smaller area. They don't really make much money out of Hong Kong itself. I think really what they want to do is ensure that they're able to stay active in the U.S. Now, India has banned the app there. TikTok and ByteDance, they're making pleas to the Indian government saying, look, we have employees in India, basically the same type of conversation they're having with the U.S. We have employees there. We're not going to share anything with the Chinese government or the People's Liberation Army if we don't have to, or even if we're asked. So that's kind of where the conversation is for them right now.
Dan, I want to get back to TikTok pulling out of Hong Kong, Google, Facebook, Twitter, saying they want to do the same because of new restrictions put on Hong Kong. They don't want to give up user data the way they are requesting. Is this the right move here? What are the larger implications for big tech?
Yeah, I think when you look at it, TikTok and Google, Facebook, those like in Hong Kong, it's a different situation just because TikTok is just cutting itself out entirely from the equation, whereas the likes of Apple, Google, Facebook, they're still going to operate in that area, but they aren't going to be complying with any requests from authorities to share data. And that's something that, they do around the world. They do cooperate with governments. Apple, for instance, cooperates with the Chinese government. All of the tech companies will say the same thing. We comply by local laws. And that's something that, leaders in the U.S. have obviously taken issue with. But as far as this new security law goes, they're saying that they're not going to cooperate with anything that the police ask from Hong Kong itself, because they know that that would then go to the Chinese government. It's worth noting that Google doesn't have a presence or Facebook don't have presence in mainland China, but they do in Hong Kong. So this is really their only kind of entry into the Chinese market. And it's an issue that they're obviously taking seriously and knowing that they're going to kind of fight back against having to provide information. It just goes to show the acrimonious relationship that they may have with the Chinese government itself.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Dan Howley, thanks for that.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.